How lonely sits the city that was once full of people.
With these words, we start the laments of Jeremiah.
Yeah.
You can almost hear Jeremiah heaving a sigh of discouragement.
Yeah.
That he looks at what Jerusalem used to be, and the population is dwindling, being taken into captivity. And he just, how lonely sits the city.
Yeah. Jeremiah is surely one of the people that knows God, right? In the Jewish people, there aren't a lot of those around, and he's probably also one of the people that's studied the history, that knows what's going on, that knows that they took 1 million people out of Egypt, and knows that at the time of David, there were millions of people. They had all the land, and he really fully grasps it, as much as some of the other other of the Judeans might understand that, might grasp it in some way. Jeremiah surely gets it more.
Yeah.
And part of that is he had all these prophecies that he was speaking, right? That things were going to go and get worse before they could get better.
Yep. Even though while he was speaking the prophecies, God was providing a way out. Mm-hmm. It was just, it wasn't taken.
Yeah.
So Lamentations is Jeremiah reflecting on what used to be the goodness of Israel and of Jerusalem, and how it's been deserted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he does the same thing. Like I said, my favorite prayer is in Jeremiah 20, where he prays the sort of lament over his life, right? Yep. But in the middle, he has this part of praising the Lord. And Lamentations is kind of in that same sort of line, that it's 5 chapters, and 4 of them are these like terrible, horrible laments.
Yep.
I say terrible, horrible. They're very beautifully worded.
They are.
Compared to what I felt like some of the Psalms of Solomon, I was like, Some of the other sayings, I was like, I don't know, not so great. Lamentations is just beautiful. She weeps bitterly in the night with tears on her cheeks among all her lovers. She has none to comfort her. It really makes you understand what this is talking about. There's some imagery. The city is among all her lovers. I don't really know what it means for a city to have a lover, but the city is around all the places that she should have owned. It's in the middle of the country, and even in the midst of being in the middle of her own country, there's no one there to comfort.
Yeah. And she's just she has fallen astonishingly. It's just the heartfelt response of a man who has seen Jerusalem just fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Her princes have become like deer that find no pasture. They fled without strength before the pursuer. I've seen deer before, and I've seen deer that are scared and not in a pasture, that are worried about their life and what that looks like. And it really, for me at least, paints a really strong picture of what is going on in Israel, at least emotionally, spiritually, if not like literally. But as the end of Jeremiah says, there's only 4,600 people total. Yeah. So a massive decrease from the millions that were before.
Yeah. So he says a number of times, there is no one to comfort her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, my virgins and my young men have gone into captivity. I am in distress. Yeah. Lamentations, we don't think, this is a big book. This is a powerful book. But when you consider the emotional stress that Jeremiah was experiencing, mm-hmm. and you read it from that perspective, and that one of the things that's just helpful, and you read all of Jeremiah and then you jump right into Lamentations and read all of Lamentations, it makes sense.
Yeah. You almost feel like, man, he didn't lament enough. He's not sad enough about this.
Yep.
And he even says, like, for these things I weep. My eyes flow with tears, for a comforter is far from me, one to revive my spirit. My children are desolate, for the enemy has prevailed. And you think of someone's eyes flowing with tears. That's not soft imagery. Like,
Right.
that's not a weakly worded message of sadness.
Yep.
But it still just feels like, yeah, he's totally right in being sad, and maybe even he could be more sad if he wanted.
My groans are many, and my heart is faint.
Mm-hmm.
The sadness of Jeremiah is, it comes through in Lamentations. And I wonder in what ways can we relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this last verse of chapter 1, I feel like is a very good sign of where Jeremiah's head is at in the way that he's complaining to God. Because he's complaining to God, things are not going well. I want them to go well. But he says, let their evil doing come before you, and deal with them as you have dealt with me because of all of my transgressions. For my groans are many, and my heart is faint. He's saying, hey God, I know that I'm still a sinner. I'm still evil. I'm deserving of all this punishment. But aren't these other people also deserving of punishment? Can't you give it to them too?
Yep. And when you get into chapter 2, the Lord has swallowed up. He has not spared the inhabitants of Jacob. In his wrath he has thrown down the strongholds of the daughters of Judah, brought them down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
This recognition that the fierce anger of God has cut us off from his blessing.
Yeah, chapter 1 is mostly about how sad it is for Judah, for Zion, for the Israelites. Chapter 2 is all about God's anger, right? That's how it starts. How the Lord in his anger has set the daughter of Zion under a cloud. And it just keeps going on. He has cut down in fierce anger all the might of Israel. He has bent his bow like an enemy, with his right hand set like a foe. He has killed all who were delightful in our eyes in the tent of the daughter of Zion.
Yeah, and verse 3 talks about his fierce anger again. So you're right. The second chapter is about the anger of God. And we sometimes think, well, God is just a kind, loving, he's not a fierce God who has any anger. And yet that's not a true picture of what the scripture says.
Yeah. I like verse 17. The Lord has done what he purposed. He has carried out his word, which he commanded long ago. He has thrown down without pity. He has made the enemy rejoice over you and exalted the might of your foes. Just that it's still a correct view of God. That is like, God promised something, he was going to do it, and he did it.
Yeah. And then Jeremiah says, their heart cried out, O wall of the daughter, let your tears run down like river day and night. Give yourself no relief, let your eyes have no rest. Arise, cry aloud in the night. At the beginning of the night watches, pour out your heart like water. Lift up your hands to him for the life of your little ones who are faint because of hunger and at the head of every street. Jeremiah says, this is what we need to do. We need to return to God.
Yeah, I love that. Pour out your heart like water
Yeah.
before the presence of the Lord. And it feels like, Jeremiah's eyes are flowing with tears. He probably feels that way. He feels like all the water in him is being poured out. His heart is being devoid of water in this way, like literally because of the tears coming out.
Yeah.
But then it's also a deeper thing that your heart will be poured out like water.
He ends that chapter 2. There is no one who escaped or survived in the day of the Lord's anger. Again, emphasizing the fact that chapter 2 is about the anger of God because the people of God have not held true to God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so far, it's actually very communal. When I read it, I felt like chapters 1 and 2 were very much about the group feeling of everything's going wrong. Jerusalem has sinned grievously. Zion's princes have fled like deer. The Lord has destroyed Zion. The Lord is angry with Zion. The elders sit on the ground in silence. But now chapter 3 starts. Yeah, it is a group thing. Our whole nation has been torn down, and then he starts off chapter 3 with, I am the man who has seen affliction under the rod of his wrath.
Yep, in almost every verse, certainly at the beginning of chapter 3, it's personal.
Yeah,
it's
he
very
has made
personal
my
for him.
flesh and my skin waste away.
Yeah, I have become a laughing stock.
Yeah.
He made the arrows of his quiver to enter into my inward parts. He set me as a target. He has turned aside my ways and torn me to pieces. He's like to me a bear lying in wait, like a lion in secret places. He's filled me with bitterness. He's made me drunk with wormwood. Now that's not a good. Wormwood is not a good liquor. It's an evil thing.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's your verse 19. Is that what you were reading?
No, that was verse 15. Filled me with bitterness. He made me.
Oh, okay.
And then
It's interesting, verse 13. He drove into my kidneys the arrows of his quiver.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what yours says?
he made the arrows of his quiver to enter my inward parts.
Okay, that's interesting. Mine just says kidneys, and I feel related. Really, that's relatable to me.
You have some kidney problems, do you?
Yeah, just been having issues with that over the last few months, and a few different times. I think my Bible has translated things that way, like, "Oh, he's stabbed my kidneys. He's torn my kidneys out from me," and I've just been like, "Yeah, he has.
So
He has drove into my kidneys with arrows. Why does he do that?"
So Jeremiah spends the first 18 verses of chapter 3 talking about how God seems to have forsaken him. And then he says, remember my affliction, my wandering, the wormwood and the bitterness. Surely my soul remembers and is bowed down within me. And I like this next passage. This I recall to my mind. Therefore I have hope. The Lord's loving kindnesses indeed never cease, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Yeah. How can we get such a beautiful passage in the midst of a book of lament? Because Jeremiah returns to God. He knows where his hope is.
Yeah, definitely the lament lends to it being a greater passage of love. That that it wouldn't be as good of a psalm. It wouldn't be as good of a song if it was just great is your faithfulness. Your mercies are new every morning. And I know this because my life is great. And nothing's ever gone wrong. In fact, he's saying this, I know this because everything goes terrible. My flesh is wasted away. My bones are broken. My kidneys are driven into by arrows. My teeth, I just chew on gravel. That's what I do for fun. That's more fun than whatever my normal life is. And even in the midst of all that, I know that because of the steadfast love of the Lord, we are not cut off.
Right. And because the Lord is my portion, therefore I have hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. It is good that he waits silently for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he should bear the yoke of his youth in his youth. Let him sit alone and be silent, since he capitalized has laid it on him. There is hope. Perhaps there is hope. That again, if nothing else from Lamentations, this passage here ought to lift your spirits.
Yeah.
But you don't get the full power of that without reading the whole of Lamentations. If you just go to, hey, Lamentations 3:19 or 20 and 1 and following is really cool, you miss the depth of that change in Jeremiah from the depths of despair to the Lord is my hope.
Yeah. And, like I was saying earlier, it feels like if you read all of Jeremiah and then you read Lamentations, you don't have to do it all in one day. That's what we did. And, we've said this over and over again, we get to see the bigger picture a little bit better. But I think especially reading Jeremiah and knowing that he is giving all these terrible prophecies, everyone's making fun of him, and then pushing into Lamentations, you start off and you're feeling like, man, he could be more sad.
Yeah.
And then you get to chapter 3 and you're like, wow, like he could be more sad. And his soul is continually remembering his affliction and his wanderings. And yet his soul is also still saying, the Lord is my portion, therefore I will hope in him.
Yeah.
And he's still saying, let a man sit alone in silence when it is laid on him. Let him put his mouth in the dust, because there still could be hope.
Yeah, and yet after you get past that little section of hope, he reverts back to, I called in your name out of the lowest pit. You have heard my voice. Do not hide your ear from the prayer, for my prayer for relief, for my cry for help. You drew near when I called you. You said, do not fear. But that comes from waters flowed over my head. I said, I am cut off.
Mm-hmm.
That sense of, he hasn't pulled completely out of the lament.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's this sandwich where
Yeah.
he does some lamenting, some praising, and then lamenting again. And he says, my eyes flow without ceasing. So even with the knowing that the Lord will not cast off together, knowing that he causes grief, he also has compassion. He knows that right now he's getting the grief.
Yep. And he is getting, he says in verse 63, I am their mocking song. Jeremiah, remember he was, there were people who wanted to put him to death.
Yeah.
And then he says, you will give them hardness of heart. Your curse will be on them. So there's a sense that he's gone through difficult times, but in the end, God's going to make it right.
Yeah.
So going into chapter 4.
Yeah, then he's again remembering, this history that he's learned and the things that he knows used to be. He says how the gold has grown dim, how the pure gold has changed. The holy stones lie scattered at the head of every street. Just again that remembrance of what used to be, of the great temple that Solomon built, of the great people that the nation of Israel used to be, and that now it's just, you
Desolate.
break down the temple and use it to build a road.
Yeah, and talking about how desperate the situation has become. Verse 4, the tongue of the infant cleaves to the roof of its mouth because of its thirst. The little ones ask for bread, but no one breaks it for them. Those who ate delicacies are desolate in the streets. Those reared in purple embrace ash pits.
Mm-hmm.
The woe is Israel, Jerusalem.
And he says, even the jackals offer the breast and they nurse their young. He compares himself. Not even the dogs are treated this poorly or are needing so much.
Yeah. Better are those slain with the sword than those slain with hunger.
Yeah, who wasted away, pierced by the lack of the fruits of the field.
And then that horrible verse. The hands of compassionate women boiled their own children, and they became food for them because of the destruction of the daughter of my people.
Yeah.
The Lord has accomplished his wrath.
Mm-hmm.
He has poured out his fierce anger.
Yeah, and he says even why. The kings of the earth did not believe, nor any inhabitants of the world, that foe or enemy could enter the gate of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
That's how it was before. But now, not even a mother can feed her child.
Yeah. And it's about punishment for our sin. In chapter 20, verse 22, the punishment of your iniquity has been completed, O daughter of Zion. He will exile you no longer, but he will punish your iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will expose your sins.
Yeah.
And then chapter 5, Jeremiah prays for mercy.
Yeah.
Remember, O Lord, what has befallen us. Look and see our reproach. Our inheritance has been turned over to strangers, our houses to aliens. We have to pay for our drinking water. Our wood comes to us at a price. We have submitted to Egypt and Assyria to get enough bread. Our fathers sinned and are no more. It is we who have borne their iniquities. We get our bread at the risk of our lives. Our skin has become as hot as an oven.
With the burning heat of famine.
Yeah.
That's interesting. He says, we have become orphans, fatherless, and our mothers are like widows. Just that, again, it's that calling out, that appealing to God's love for the fatherless, God's love for the widows, that they should be taken care of. And Jeremiah is saying, how can we take care of them? We are them.
Yeah. It's almost as though Jeremiah looked at the city, and it starts off when the city is what's verse 1 say?
Yeah. How lonely is the city?
How lonely is the city? It's almost as though he looked out there, and he writes the first couple of chapters. In chapter 3, he's back in his prayer closet, and he remembers the goodness of God, and then he comes out and he looks out at the city again, and he drops into that lament again. The joy of our hearts has ceased. Our dancing has turned into mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us, for we have sinned. Our heart is faint. Our eyes are dim. Mount Zion lies desolate.
But you, O Lord, reign forever. Your throne endures to all generations.
Yeah.
Restore to us, O Lord, that we may be restored. Renew our days as of old, unless you have utterly rejected us, and you remain exceedingly angry with us.
And then he stops.
Yeah.
That's where it ends. He basically says, I get the idea that he poured out his heart. He had nothing more to say. He comes back to God and leaves it in God's hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, it feels like, you could be so much more sad. You could write so much more. You could pour out your heart so much more. And it actually feels more powerful to me because he didn't.
Yeah.
Because he could. And he still decides to end it.
It's like his lamentation exhausted him.
Yeah.
It just, he's got nothing more to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, your tears dry up within
Yeah.
you, that you can no longer cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is a little bit of a shorter one this time.
Yeah.
But
That's okay. We made you go longer with Jeremiah, so the Lamentations, and we hit Ezekiel next, I do believe.
yeah, another extremely happy prophet.